Championship. Coming up in a few moments will be the second quarterfinal showdown of the day. Europe's Gambit versus Korea's Nigerian Black Sword. But first, let's take a look back at the third game of Fnatic versus Cloud9, and it has to start with a picks and bans. I actually felt like Cloud9's composition was superior to Fnatic's in that third and final game because I didn't feel like Fnatic had enough damage sources to back it up. What's your thoughts on this?
So there's two things to me that are really interesting. Number one, the fact that Sneaky randomly pulled out Corki, not randomly, but he pulled out Corki in the third game. I had expected, because of the first two games, that he didn't even play Corki. It was really strange that he would essentially change the style of AD because Corki is not a utility AD and he had just played Ashe. And the other stylistic difference in Cloud9's comp that they're probably not accustomed to is the fact that Balls is essentially useless until 20 minutes. Split pushing Vlad takes a long time to ramp up. You have to play passive, which is unlike C9.
That said, though, if that split-pushing Vlad had ever gotten rolling, Shen really wouldn't have been able to stop it in the late game. That's Spectral Wraith Vlad. But if you don't get that split push underway, you're stuck with the Spectral Wraith Vlad in team fights, and if you don't have that Zhonya's, you're just not going to survive in 5v5s. Yeah,
I think the Corki pick was also specifically knowing Kassadin was coming in. Corki's one of the better dueling AD carries. Like, if you're Ashe or Varus shooting a Kassadin, you're going to lose that fight. It's going to be pretty rough, whereas at least Corki can burst through a little bit, get some damage to the Triforce, some health as well, and try to win that fight. It just didn't work out.
I feel Ashe would have still set up a lot better in their team fights, combining way better with the way Cloud9 plays. Although, I do agree that Fnatic's early team comp wasn't good enough, but the first blood really swung, or really balanced the scales back into Fnatic's favor.
Talk to me about that early game, because Cyanide managed to pick up a double kill after the first blood, and then managed to pick up a third kill. And I was a little anxious, because even with the 3 kills, he wasn't farming the jungle. Meteor still out-leveled him. You know, talk to me about the early game and how that progressed.
They actually went for a buff contest in Meteor's jungle while he's still at Smite, which was pretty predictable as he got helped by the bot lane. And he could save his Smite. Cyanide should have actually he bought a Madrid, so he should have just went around, cleaned his jungle, went to a quick level 5, and he could have snuck a dragon really easily alone. I like that Cyanide goes for ganks for pressure, especially against a farm-heavy jungle like Meteos, but I think there's, as Double F told me during the game, you need to find a balance between farming too much and ganking, and I think Cyanide went a little bit too heavy on the ganking side.
And the thing that Cyanide did well is Vlad, like I said, is a time bomb. At like 15 to 20 minutes, when he becomes an unstoppable, unkillable split pusher, he's got Flash Ghost. He needs to get to that point where he cannot die. He died too early. You can't. The thing that Cyanide did well is he ganked bottom really smartly. I feel like Balls, his Tides of Blood actually showed that Lee Sin was in the brush, but he didn't notice, and he still ended up dying to that gank, and that's what really swung the game, because if Cloud9 had just dragged this game out, which is uncharacteristic of them, but if they had dragged out to 20 minutes, nobody would have been able to stop Vlad.
Yeah.
Vlad.
Yeah, I agree too. And to go back to that with Cyanide, I mean, getting that fast Madreds, if you can come over, because if you're playing on blue side and you can queue over the back of the Dragon Pit, incredibly hard to even detect that that is going on. And all he had to do, again, is just go through the jungle really quickly. So yes, Fnatic did get 2 kills early, but I think we all felt like he didn't really maximize those gains.
Yeah, I agree. And even just to sort of solidify your point even further, that lane was the solo lane of Cloud9. Balls was not going to go put wards down in the Dragon Pit. Like, the entire game was set up for that play.
Yeah, I mean, a Vlad contesting Dragon at 6 minutes, I don't think so.
No.
Not at all. Well, now that you guys have heard what we've had to say about the games, let's send it over to Professor Kobe at the Telestrator for a lesson in League of Legends.
All right. Well, Fnatic did win that series, but the clip that we actually have prepped for you is from Game 2, and it's a team fight that Cloud9 actually won. And one of the main things I wanted to demonstrate here was the difference in item builds and how High going different than most mid laners nowadays on Fizz rushing the Hourglass. In this situation, it greatly benefits him. So just keep an open mind with your item builds always. We'll look at that Hourglass a little bit later. Right now, High's getting caught out, he's on the run, and Fnatic are going to pursue him. Let's watch this slowly at 50% speed. We can see him come through. Soaz, looks like they've got High all cornered. He's going to flash away immediately, and then Soaz answers with a flash. He actually positions himself for the Urchin Strike of High to gain some more, pause here, to gain some more distance. Every inch counts. Because High got to be able to use his ability, Urchin Strike, to get that small amount of distance, it allowed him to Zhonya's in a very good position here. And he also got off his ultimate first. These skill shots that are about to land right onto Peke do a whole bunch of work. Sneaky, by the way, with his item build, the Legolas build that Crepo called it from Europe, hit its peak right now. He's got full attack damage and the armor penetration from Last Whisper. So this is going to take a huge chunk out of Peke. Because Hai has that Hourglass, he gains those precious few seconds to stay alive for the rest of his team to collapse. Now we'll watch the rest of it at 50% speed, and we'll see the super dive coming in from Meteos and Hai that we see much later in the game as well to be so effective. And even though Cloud9 commit 2 members up here to finish off Peke, they hook and then they box up Soaz under the turret. So while Meteos is running for his life, they're also trading tanks here, taking out this very tanky Zac, and Cloud9, Balls, he's going to flash right into the squishies here. Beautiful play from him. He ignores the bloblets while they're on the ground, and he catches the rest of Fnatic's backline completely off guard. By the way, another piercing arrow from Sneaky right there is what enabled Balls to grab that extra double kill and turn that fight ultimately in Cloud9's favor. Lesson for today, I guess, is variance in your item builds, guys. You don't want to tunnel on one thing all the time. With that, I'm going to send it back to the guys at the desk.
That is a lesson that everybody needs to learn. So with one quarterfinal match down, let's go ahead and take a look at the updated bracket. Fnatic has advanced into this weekend's semi-final best of 5 series, where they await the winner of Tuesday's matchup between China's Royal Club and OMG.
And if you want to watch Fnatic take on the Chinese champions in their semifinal showdown live at the Galen Center,